This is Jane Marie.
And this is Soko.
You are now listening to the Queer Ambition Podcast.
The Queer Ambition Podcast is the only podcast celebrating rising LGBTQ professionals,
providing advice on navigating the modern workplace,
and discussing polarizing topics within the community.
Now listen up.
This is going to be a good interview. I'm super excited about it. So, let's break this down. Let's welcome you to the podcast. We're going to welcome FREiBERD to the podcast. I'm going to read a little bit of bio about him. So, with stunning looks and rebellious eclectic style, FREiBERD is equal parts alluring and otherworldly. FREiBERD's sound is inspired by transcontinental upbringing. It's a mashup of catchy UK, electro-pop, R&B, and American rap. Where FREiBERD goes, inspiration follows, and not just in the music scene. Such is the story of FREiBERD and how he captivated the attention of Lake Louise. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Lake Louise.
Lake Louise, CEO of an organic cosmetics company called Plain Jane Beauty. Together, the two created Plain Jane's iconic organic black lipstick. That's the black lipstick that you always wear. I know it is. And provocative, inspiring, and fearless, FREiBERD has become an icon of courage for fans. FREiBERD's message of radical self-love and acceptance resonates deeply with people seeking to challenge social norms in favor of living their own truths. Welcome, FREiBERD, to the podcast.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, FREiBERD. We're so excited to have you. We really are. Soko has been talking about you for a long time. She's been with you to talk to us since last year.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I know, actually, it was really cool. We met up randomly. I was invited to a Friendsgiving party, which is my first one. And it was one of those things where you're in a place where you don't know anyone. But I had my friends and family here from London, so we all went together. And so it's just the three of us Londoners, and then we're in this place she's like, do you know these people? I don't know. I know maybe two. And, then everyone kind of warmed up. And then Soko was like, wait, I think I know who you are. And I was like, I don't know. I've seen one of your shows, and she reminded me when I was like, yeah, that was definitely me. And then that was just a moment of connection there. And we just kind of talked a little bit about it and then followed each other on Instagram before the
Yeah, I mean, that was great because I wasn't trying to be creepy, but I kept looking at it. I'm like, oh no. It was, someone bought me tickets to go see, what's her name? It's Red Rum Melody. Who's it? Tiffany Goucher. Yeah. Goucher, yes. Oh. And at the Basement in East Atlanta, and FREiBERD was the opener. And when I mean it was mesmerizing, I was literally standing there with my drink like this.
That's great. That's how you know that was a good performance, man, because that's what Beyonce does to people.
It was so good. Yeah, and I couldn't catch the name. And I wasn't really I couldn't get the name, so I never got to follow. So it was fate brought us together. And I was like, yeah, definitely going to be on the Queer Ambition podcast. So let's get it.
Well, my thing is I'm holding this up again. I feel like FREiBERD, you're like a type of person where somebody's going to look at you. I wonder how she got away with not looking at you and not looking at you. Cause I'm like, I'm going to notice him in a crowd for sure.
It's weird. Because when I first moved back here, 2012, I got a really crazy response from people. So I was stared at a lot, videoed a lot, people with their phones out and stuff. I think what I've noticed over the past, 5 years is that the trend is kind of caught up. So there's a lot of people that dressed the way that I dressed back in 2012, 13. So it's more socially acceptable now, whereas I'm always looking into fashion and advancing. So it's I still get a little bit looks, but it's more oh yeah, you're fashion person. And it's okay. Now people are more respectful versus to being oh, what is that? Sort of thing. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I do get looked at a lot. So now at times I just ignore it. So I don't even really notice it anymore. Because it's just daily life type.
Right. Everyday life and the life of FREiBERD.
The life of FREiBERD living in Atlanta has got to be something too, because that accent, I know they're looking at you sideways the minute you start talking.
You know what? Like that's another thing. I mean, when I first moved, I was using public transport, and I remember I had one very terrifying kind of crazy experience. I got a phone call on the train on the MARTA, and literally just without thinking, I was like, oh, I got to take this call and I answer it. And I look up, and there's literally, I'm not lying to you, literally there is at least 8 people turned around staring at me, 2 with cameras out, and just like, and I was like, and so the moment I hung up the phone, there was all these questions, everyone's bombarding me, and people are coming sitting next to me, and it was just like, oh my God, I won't do that again. So I made a rule to myself that as long as I was on public transport, I would not speak, I would not answer the phone.
You sound different.
Huh? Especially in Atlanta, because you know some of these people be country. Yeah. They haven't been anywhere.
You sound different.
You get a lot. I told my family when they come from London, like the younger people in my family, when they come to visit, I'm like, look, at least once during your visit, someone's going to say to you, oh my God, are there black people in England? So like I was like, oh no, you know, but
damn, yes they are.
And sadly, they did experience it. It did happen. But I just think culturally, a lot of people are accustomed to experiencing London or UK people from that area in a very specific light.
Yeah.
Outside of Idris Elba and
there
you go.
Talk about him.
Tandy Newton and a few other stars, you know, from the UK. Outside of that, they don't really kind of make the connection, but there's so many black people and people of color of all sorts there. So don't be surprised, anyone. If
Agreed.
You haven't already.
Yeah. Agreed. Talking to you is obviously very easy. So now we're going to try to follow our structure that we have. So we're going to hit you with some icebreaker questions. Now, everyone will have a turn at answering these questions. There are 3 of them. It doesn't really seem like we have to get our blood pumping, our juices flowing for this interview, but we're still going to mix it up a little with these interview questions.
Sure.
I'm sorry, with these icebreaker questions. So, we have a one has to go. We have 4 rap superstars for you. Now, we know you're in the music industry, so let's see what your opinion is on this. One has to go. Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, Drake, or J. Cole? Who has to go, FREiBERD?
That's tough.
Kendrick, Jay-Z, Drake, or J. Cole?
I honestly don't know. J. Cole has worked with one of my favorite artists in the world, Janet Jackson. But outside of that, I don't really have much connection with him. So I'm sorry. Bye.
Gotta go. I like because you gave a reason to everything. All right, Coco. Who's going?
Damn, I would say J. Cole. J. Cole has to go. I mean, I love all 4 of these rappers, and all of them do something for me. Mm-hmm. But J. Cole, to me, just, I don't know. I can do without him if that's the case.
They're different too, so.
They are. And I feel like you're not going to expect this from me, Soko.
Oh my God, because I'm expecting you to say J. Cole.
I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. They used to call me Jigga when I was in college. But Jay-Z, I'm letting him go. Now, I'm going to explain why. Now, his catalog isn't gone. His cultural impact isn't gone. But in terms of moving the culture forward, Jay-Z's got to go.
Wow.
That's wild, right?
He goes a little deeper. She's trying to,
See?
Like, hey, I can understand respect like that too. That's cool.
I'm really surprised at that.
All right, Soko. You're going to answer this question first. This next question, you're being left on an island. They're leaving you there stranded, Soko. You can only take 3 items with you. What do you choose?
Okay, this is my first 2 ones are so easy.
Well, then don't be cliche.
Well, I have to be cliche because I'm bringing my dogs with me.
Oh, okay. All right. So 2.
My dog, why can't you count them as 1? There's a team. They're a team.
All right, 1. 1
Okay,
down.
1. My dogs come. Something to... a knife.
Okay, you're thinking tactically. I like that.
Damn. This one's hard. A knife, and I want to. What's my third thing? A laptop with Wi-Fi. Why? Oh, a cell phone, because the cell phone has a personal hotspot.
So what? You're bringing your dogs, a knife, and your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're basic. All right, what 3 items are you bringing? This chick said her dog and a cell phone.
Wow. Okay, so my first item would have to be a very cool, long, lengthy, multi-purpose, multi-weather coat or jacket.
Very long.
My second would be some sort of a kit that contains a fire, like a way to start a fire, like a lighter, equipment, has hunting equipment in it, maybe like a knife or something, but just some sort of box that contains these little things in there.
Okay.
And, my third thing would, I can't say any technology, because if it's technology, I wouldn't be stuck. What else would I need? I would have to have some sort of way to carry with me some chocolate almond milk.
That's your favorite thing? Chocolate almond milk, huh?
Favorite thing.
Okay. I've heard that before, so I hear you. All right, so chocolate almond milk, a hunting kit, and a very long all-purpose coat.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll be warm and fed. Sounds
Correct.
Good. Sounds good. For me, I'm going to go with a fishing pole and bait. I'm going to go with some boots. Not some Timbs. I want like some real boots. I don't know where to get them from. Patagonia. I don't know. The North Face. I don't know. And a tent. I'm just trying to survive. I have no entertainment with me at all. I'm just going to think. My imagination.
Yeah.
All right. So at least we're all surviving. Soko has her friends. She has her dogs. She'll be happy.
I love my dogs.
Okay, the final question, third and final question goes to FREiBERD first. If someone made a movie of your life, would it be a drama, a comedy, a romantic comedy, an action film, or science fiction?
Oh, wow. It would have to be a science fiction drama story.
So both science fiction, drama.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked sci-fi, because when I looked at you, I was like, sci-fi. He's got to say sci-fi. Say sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things happening around, so definitely would have to be one of those.
Soko?
I was actually going to pick sci-fi too. I love sci-fi. I've been watching a lot of sci-fi on Netflix, so I want to be in some next shit,
Mm-hmm. Mine would be a comedy.
Comedy?
Yeah, because I try to see the humor in everything, even when shit is so sad. So it would definitely be a comedy.
With your personality, it's like I would actually be interested in seeing that, because you like your style and just your delivery in the interview right now. It's kind of like I would be interested in seeing that, because I think it would be funny. I've expected it though.
Well, thank you. I will watch your movie too. I will watch Soko. We may not watch your movie. We may not.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm playing with you, boo. I'm there. I'm the first one there.
That's crazy.
Okay, let's go into these interview questions, right? Okay, so first off, is FREiBERD your real name?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I need explanation.
I'm gonna say you gotta walk me through that.
So I was born with a different name that my mom gave me. I only use that name, I guess, if I have a job. But even when I have a job, like where I work currently, nobody calls me by my I guess what do you call it, a government name. Only known as FREiBERD everywhere. It's just like a respect thing. And that really comes from my mum. She passed away 2 years ago. And so before she passed away, she actually gave me permission to change my name to FREiBERD. So that was a big deal to me, being that she's the one who gave me life and the name. And then she understood just through my growth and understanding, like, you're my child and I get it. And it's like, yeah, this is actually who you are and I respect that. So that's what you want to do. You have my permission. So nobody calls me anything but FREiBERD.
All right. So what does FREiBERD mean to you? Like, how did FREiBERD come about?
So back in 2010 is when I got released from a record label that I was with, and a major label, I should say. And it was a very kind of scary situation. And with that, it made me take a break from music and the industry altogether, because it was a really, really, really scary time for me. And I was a lot younger. I guess when I say a lot younger, I just mean in maturity and my mind set on what happens in the business. Being signed, everything's taken care of for you, and you don't necessarily have to see everything that goes on behind the scenes. And I mean, you do, but you don't. And just being in a situation as scary as that was, I needed a break. I had to get myself together. I had to prepare myself, like, if I'm really going to be in this industry and I'm really going to pursue this professionally, I need to be aware and I need to, be in control of what is going to happen and what I want to display to people, because image-wise, like, everything was completely different and they wanted me to behave differently and do a lot of things that were not who I was. And so outside of that, I just took that break. And when I moved back, I worked with these producers who wanted to work with me when I was signed with a label. But I had firewalls, management and all that kind of stuff. But that was a free agent. So they were like, hey, now we really want to work with you. So I started to work with them, and they just got me into a metal space, pulled me into a studio to live in. So it was an actual live-in place. And so I was living there and actually just creating music. And I remember a very specific night. I was having some troubles mentally and just kind of in a very dark and sad place. And then I just spoke to myself, asking, if I wake up tomorrow and my life was absolutely perfect, what would that look like? Or what would that be like? And so in asking myself that question, I just visualized it before bed. And so I promised myself when I woke up the next day, my life was going to be as I wanted it to be. And I did that when I woke up the next morning. And so a few days later, I was in the studio and recording a song. And I just, for some reason, just stopped and sat in the chair. And his name just came to my mind. And I was like, FREiBERD, what is that? I can't call myself that. Like, that's crazy. Like, who's gonna walk around calling themselves FREiBERD? Like, that's awful. But it was just getting louder and louder and louder. And I consulted the producer I was working with, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? I know it's weird, but I'm just gonna be myself. And this name just keeps ringing in my head. And they were like encouraging me to explore it. I explored it, and it became just who I am. And it allowed me to be completely free in everything and create my life as I wanted it to be, instead of letting my life happen to me. So it means freedom, it means choice, it means the ability to express yourself the way that you want to. It's power, it's love, it's passion, it's creativity, it's everything. So that's what FREiBERD is.
That's amazing. It's an amazing story. I'm not even sure what to say.
I know. Sometimes I get a little deep too. I told you, like, you be sci-fi, a lot of stuff in there. But I'm a very spiritual person too in that aspect, and just not in the traditional sense, but in a way that I'm very connected to the source, the inspiration, the delivery of my art, like what it means. Everything is a thing. And everything means something. So just in all of that delivery and just the way that it was spoke to me, and the recognition of, as an artist, like, you have a responsibility to people, you have a responsibility to what you're putting out, and you control that. And just the way that I have a lot of people who, you know, as this journey grows and I become, you know, more aware to people, people get to know who I am more, or exposed to a larger platform of people, I know that will grow. So I have to be responsible for what people get from me. So it all comes from that. And just knowing that you have control over that is really, really important. I think, you know, a lot of people do that when they pursue something in art. You know, it's just like, oh, I want to be weird, or I want to be cool. It's nothing about that. Like, you're giving people something. An artist lives life. We go through crazy stuff. And then our job is to help people who may not be able to explain or put into words what they're experiencing. And so that's what it is. Like, you have to be responsible. So, yeah. Wow.
So you have a lot of responsibility that you're taking on for your audience, in a sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it's good. It's good responsibility. So I love people to be happy, inspired. I want to see people be successful and grow and like not quit, you know, and things get hard, but like be grateful and learn through everything, because you learn all the time, you know.
Can you tell us a little bit about what happened before? So you mentioned that you were signed to a label when you were younger.
Yeah.
How did you get to that? How did you go from I want to create music to I am creating music and I'm getting paid? How did you get to that place?
It happened really, really fast. Basically, I came here back in 2000. Well, oh no, see, I never tell my age either, so I almost slipped up a little bit. But I came here to do university, and I was in university, and I remember around my, I guess, one of the years close to finishing.
Oh, he's not letting it go. It's not.
He's like one of the years close to finishing.
Yeah, FREiBERD is not saving any.
I started going to music classes because I knew I would always sing as a child, and I liked singing. I enjoyed singing. When I had opportunities to be around my family here in America and stuff, like I go to church, I sing at churches sometimes and that kind of stuff. So I always really enjoyed it, but I never really thought that I could pursue it professionally until university. And when I was in university, I was studying fashion, but I just got so intrigued by the ability to create music. I was producing my own songs and learning how to use the studio equipment. And so literally every break that I had from fashion class, I was in music class. So where the professor in the music class, she would be like, hey, look, you have more passion than any of my students, so you're welcome to any of these classes whenever. And if you need someone to sign off to say that, hey, you can be here, I will do it. So she just saw the passion, and so recorded my first song with a producer there. And we submitted it for a contest that they were doing, you know, school-wide through the media department or whatever. And we won first prize. That came with an award, and it came with monetary gift. And everything, and just recognition. It's all over the school, like paper, and it was just people just like, who are you people? Like, who is this guy? Like, and it was just really fun. And then I started doing competitions. I did Making the Band audition when it was the guys group here in Atlanta, and I made it to top 10. So that was a big thing to me, because I think it was like 500 people that auditioned, and to make it to top 10 was an amazing thing for me. And that was just like solidifying, like, hey, you might really be able to do this. And just pursuing it. And so after that, I started recording music and performing out around. And that led me to do, I think it was, I did a Bronner Brothers convention.
Okay.
And, they had some people from American Idol who were performing, and Donnie Klein, who made it from, I think he was from Making the Band or something too, and they were performing. And then so I performed after them, and as the label director was leaving, the vice president was leaving, he was like, who is that? And so they came back and watched the show, and then found out who my management was, set up a meeting that night. We had a meeting, and next thing you know, I was signed in a weekend and working on my new release. So it was like,
wow,
really fast.
It was, wow.
Right, they zoom. Wow.
That's a lot too, all at once, for someone to handle.
It was. And I mean, after that, I got for do support with the America's Most Wanted tour, and got to support that and meet like Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, and all of those through. Like, it was just a really fun thing to see such a massive stage and be there, all of these places and all of these shows, and just getting a very professional way of learning how to do it for a crowd that large. And so it was a really, really crazy and fun ride, you know. But when it all came down to it, I ended up having not the best management, and they made some really, 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 really crucial mistakes that affected both my career and theirs. But lucky for me, the label liked me, so they released me instead of, you know, being like a blacklist or, you know, all the terrible things. So yes, my manager at the time was really bad. It was a really scary situation for me, but they just released me. It was silent. It was called dissolved contract. I didn't owe anything, which was a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
I got all that experience, but I didn't have the weight. So that's when I took the break, because it was really, really scary after that, just to reevaluate and figure out what I wanted.
Understood.
Yeah.
So, in your own words, how would you describe your sound? Like, from you, describe your sound.
I don't know, man. It's like literally whatever it takes to convey the emotion is what I use in production. And singing wise, I record myself. I'm spoiled that way. So literally no one's allowed in the room when I'm recording. Even when I work with producers, it's like the producer that produced, I do have an album coming out in a few months. I'm not saying too much now because I have like 1.5 songs to finish, and you never really know what happens with that. But I do have a full-length project coming out, and even with that, the producer that I work with for that project, literally we produced together. So it was a co-production of doing the records. But literally, when it came time to record the song, everyone leaves the room, and I record alone. So it's just like, I don't know, it's these zones, it's a spiritual place. You just have to be unbothered, and I can't be nothing around, you know. It's just, I don't have a name for it. It's just that place of freedom for me. That's all it really is. Just whatever comes out of my head is and now, you know, you get to do more, you experiment more as you grow more, as I perform more. I get to put more things into my songs. For the album, there's a few songs that I did release on SoundCloud, but when you actually download the album, if you've heard those songs, the album version is completely different, just because
it's okay.
Just from performing live, you learn new things. You feel, oh, that's cool. Like, what if I put that in that song? Because that's really you know, so you add it later, so the album version will be completely different than what you've heard, you know, just as kind of like a test version. So I don't know what to call it. It's just freestyle, man. Yeah,
I got you.
That's what I call my fashion sense, and that's what I call my music style. It's freestyle. That's all it is. FREI.
Of course.
Branded. Everything.
Everything. Got to put that branding on it.
Right. Yeah.
And do you ever get nervous before you perform? I know Soko had mentioned being mesmerized by your performances. So how do you feel before you're about to take the stage?
Literally always. The sense, oh my God, I gotta pee.
right before you go on, you're like, what was
literally, and you know what, and recently, like I've been a lot more comfortable, like a lot more. I mean, I have had years of experience, but doing what I was doing before was just regular R&B, so it was a lot easier. Now it's me, like it's 100% me, so it's a little scarier, because what you're doing is, as an artist, you are a product, literally. You know, you're selling what you are, your existence, the idea of who you are, you're selling that to people. And when you're performing live, you're sharing that idea of yourself with people. So it's a little nervous, like, are you gonna like me? So there's always that little piece. But as I do it more, and now that a project coming out and I've been performing a lot more, and seeing people come up to shows, hearing people know lyrics to the songs that I have released, like it's like, whoa, like, you know, that's it. Like that's awesome. So it makes you feel more comfortable. But literally, yes, nervous just until the first sentence come out of my mouth. After the first sentence is out, then I'm good. But everything leading up to that, my intro sounds like everything. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But then it's like, I'm good after. Maybe that'll go away in the future, but who knows?
Or maybe that's part of the fun of it. You know, it's like that. You gotta be a little nervous. So we were also wondering, you had mentioned that you came to Atlanta, I believe, for university. Is that the only reason why you came here? And if so, why did you choose Atlanta?
No, so I'm actually born in Atlanta. So I was born in Atlanta. My mom is from here, and what happened was, this is why it would also be the drama part of it in my sci-fi film. So growing up, my mum was not well at all, and I grew up a lot of back and forth with different family members and different households just to take care of my sister and I, just because she wasn't well and she was in hospital a lot, and my dad, you know, kind of had his own life. And so someone's like but with that, you know, it was just a chance, random thing. One of my aunts from UK happened to take care of me for a while, and that's what I learned, a lot of what I learned from her, and spending time there and getting to see what I saw and having an outside kind of perspective growing up of two different types of cultures. And even my time here with my family here in America, it was even different because I have two different types of family. So when it says multicultural upbringing, it's literally like I have my mom's side who's kind of Black and Native American, and I have my dad's side which is Jamaican descent. But then you have my family in the UK, which is also Jamaican descent, but also you have all the other cultures, Nigerian cultures, all these different cultures that I have been able to experience and be a part of. And so just all of these different experiences is what led it to this. So yeah, I was actually born in Atlanta and then spent that time there with different family members and stuff, and then moved back to when my mum was well again, being able to live with her and be there to do university. Then after that, I took that break in 2011 and came back to start again in 2012. And that's when everything else, like this craziness started. So I don't know, it's interesting.
It is. You do have an interesting journey for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you love most about what you do and performing and singing and being on stage? What do you love most?
It's just fun, man. Like, I can't think of anything that's more fun. Like, to be like, I think the most, it's different layers. Like, I get excited that I have a show coming up. So, well, it starts with a record. So I record a record, I get to create a new song. I'm working with a producer. That's fun to be creative. It's always about being creative. I think that's the source of it, is being creative. So it's like all of these different platforms allow me to be creative. I'm a creative person by nature. Like if I had to do anything specific, very structured, I'd probably lose my mind. So anything that allows me to be creative, whether that's writing a song, recording a song, creating costumes for a live show, or performing a song where I get to be creative while I'm on stage and, you know, get people involved in the crowd, or whatever kind of things that I can do to be creative. All of those things are exciting to me. So that's what makes me happy. It makes me excited to just be creative all the time, and just to have a life filled with creativity and filled with inspiration and filled with, you know, inspiring other people is basically what it is, you know, because I've had the I guess, I call it a gift, basically, of experiencing through my weird, crazy kind of upbringing or life, and all the different areas that I've, you know, I call it a blessing, but all the different places and people that I've been blessed to experience growing up, all the different family members, all the different places that I've lived, all the different schools, all of these little things that added up to where I was younger and like kind of sad about it. Like, you know, not having friends growing up because I moved around too much and was never in one family member's house for too long, or, you know, being separated from my mum for all of these years, or, you know, not having my dad, or like, you know, why, if I have a dad, why can't you just, you know, why can't I just live with you? You know, just all of these different things that I thought were bad things growing up, or that made me sad growing up, has turned around into just a really cool blessing, because it's like I've learned so much through those experiences. It's taught me so much. It's taught me how to understand people and situations, and even as an artist, it helps you be able to have a wider perspective of what you can talk about. It's not just about sex or love. Everybody does that, but that's boring. But to get into more subjects and be able to identify with people, because people can be going through anything, you know, and whatever I can do, take their minds off, or at least let them know that they're not alone, or that something is, you know, I've been through some crazy stuff too, you know, it makes me happy to be able to do that. So I don't know, everything's a blessing at this point when you look at it.
I love your positive attitude. I love how you can take a situation that might not be perfect and still see like what you can gain out of it, or what you can learn.
Woo! It took a long time to get there.
Oh, it does. And we're still, you know, we're still working. You know, we're all still trying to grow and be better. So
Yeah.
I totally. So what does a typical day look like for you, FREiBERD?
They're never the same. I can't live the same day. I'm absolutely never the same. That's the only thing that I can tell you. Is they're never the same. Even I work, I had a schedule that I worked, but it was nightlife. Sort of, I was managing a bar, and until like a week ago. So yeah, back to being a starving artist, sort of. So you know, when I set up that Patreon and stuff, you know, you guys all want to go ahead and pitch in on a monthly basis to help me. But no, even with that, it was kind of nightlife, and you know, just being a curator and managing this bar and creating the atmosphere. Every night was different. I never really knew what was going to happen. So like, even in that, it's a job. It's something that you do every night or every week, and you know that what your schedule is going to be. But at the same time, you have no idea how this night is going to go, or who's going to show up, or who you're going to meet, or what stories or what connections you'll make. And so just my life, every day is always different. Every single day is always different.
I see.
That's awesome. So my question is, what's up next for you? What's on your schedule? What do you have upcoming? Let the people know.
So this, I've got rehearsals this week because I've got a show on Saturday. It's my first show of this year. So I'll be performing at Apache Cafe.
Yes. Didn't you perform there like a couple weeks ago though too?
You know what? It's so weird. Over the past, I guess, 3 months, like, I guess at least 3 or 4 different promoters have hired me to be there. So
yeah,
whole thing, like, I'm becoming like an Apache performer and so on. But yeah, no. So I've been doing Apache Cafe, and I've got another feature show there on Saturday. That's coming up. So that's where my mind is right now. Getting ready for that show. And then the following week on Tuesday, the 24th, I'll be releasing my new music video and cover song for, I did How Deep Is Your Love? So I don't know if you had the opportunity to hear like the Sweet Dreams Rewire that I did. So basically when I rewire songs, it's a complete rehash while still keeping it kind of similar. So I work with the producers, and we create the record all the way over. So like, I listen to the record once, and then I put it out of my mind, and I completely do it as if I just learned these lyrics and I'm singing the song, and it does not exist. But still keeping in mind that the chorus kind of has to have that, I don't know, familiarity with it. So that's How Deep Is Your Love, and I have a few more that I've done that have not been heard yet. Hopefully I'll get to do visuals for those as well, and include those in my live shows coming up. So that's coming up. And then I have music going live to iTunes and all the platforms coming up in Feb as well. So people will be able to find me on Apple Music and Spotify and all that stuff, which is a great step. All of my people in UK are like, oh my gosh, like, it's on your website and it doesn't translate. I'm so upset. So that's going to make me a lot happier to be able to, you know, make that available to everyone around the world, and hopefully open up a lot more doors Outside of that, I have more shows coming up in Feb as well.
You are working.
Yeah, like I have to stay busy as well because I get bored easily. I'm Gemini, so I get bored.
Me too. I like that.
Yeah. So that's
I'm sorry, FREiBERD, what were you saying?
No, I just said that's some of the things I've got coming up.
Okay. And we always like to ask this question. Well, I like to ask this question. I don't know if Soko's interested, but I love it because I think it's so impactful. I was wondering if you could say one thing to the people that doubted you along your journey, what would it be?
What's up?
I love it. That was probably.
Oh man. So one more thing. Could you tell me a little bit more about this organic black lipstick?
Oh my God. So that's a part of that whole trendsetter, whatever you want to call it, that they call me and stuff. In 2014, like I just was like bored with my look. Obviously, like people looking at me crazy. And I was like, well, you want to look at me crazy? I'll give you a reason. So I added a black lip, and I just started wearing it every day, and then it'd be like, okay, well, you can't be upset about it. But really, what it was is I was making myself comfortable. So what I do is I had to do whatever was the most extreme in public so that I could get over the fact that people are going to be staring at me, because that's my life is going to be that way. So I had to get over it. And then, when I had that break, I did weigh a lot more. So I've lost, I think, about close to 80 or 90 pounds.
Wow.
I used to, I think it was 250 pounds that I weighed at one point. When I was signed, so it was, like I said, it was a completely different look and completely different thing. So I literally changed my entire life.
Wow, yeah.
I had to get comfortable with my new body. I had to get comfortable with the way that I look. And, I got to create myself, and just the fun in that. And so I got this black lip and I was like, I'm just going to do it. And so I put it on. And like at first it scared me. Like I looked in the mirror and I was afraid of myself. And I was like, oh. And I was like, I love it. And like literally since that day, like I wore it every single day. And then back and forth with the producers and people that I was working with, this is where, you kind of get that feeling of insecurities and stuff, because they're like, I don't know if you should do that. Like, that's a little too gay, or that's, you don't want people thinking this about you. And so it gets into your head, which was familiar to, being signed with the label sort of thing. And I was just like, okay, look, this is about me. My name is FREiBERD now.
Yeah.
Like about whatever I want. This is creating life. This is about happiness. This is about love. This is about self-love. This is about passion. This is about individuality. And most of all, freedom. So what you say, and basically I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I just did it every single day. And that led to, I did a concert at City Winery. I was doing a concert at City Winery back in 2016. Yeah, 2016. And I was doing a photo shoot for it, and I forgot my makeup. And this woman was like, it was a woman there, and she's like, well, I'm just here hanging out. I like to hang out in this studio just in case people need makeup. And I was like, okay, well, I need makeup. So she did my makeup, and she just started to describe to me that she was a very sweet black lady. She's from California and just really, really sweet. And I remember we were talking, getting to know each other while she was doing my makeup. And I was like, oh, this smells so good. I want to eat it. Like just everything that she's applying to my face. And she's like, yeah, this is all organic. I have my own makeup line. And I was like, really? Yeah. And so she just explained to me every product that she put it on. And she has a skincare line called Sun for Men as well. So what she did was created a organic line of makeup for people of color, but not just people of color, everyone, but mostly for people of color, so that we'd have something that was organic, but also perfect for our skin.
Right.
And she did my makeup, it looked great. And I was like, oh, I almost forgot I got one more thing. And so I left the room and I went and put on my black lip, which was just some, thing that I was finding at the, beauty stores at that time. And I went and put it on and walked in the room, and like everyone gasped, like, like, whoa, like you're so comfortable and you're wearing a black lip. That's so cool. I was like, yeah, like what I do at this point, I'm like, yeah, that's, you know, that ain't nothing. You know, it's my black lip. And so,
yes,
that's when we met, and I did the photo shoot, and it came out really cool or whatever. And then months went by, and then so she found out I was doing a concert, and we spoke on the phone, and I consider her one of my mentors, just because she's so awesome. I don't know if it blanked out, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I consider her one of my mentors because she's wise, and she's, you know, been following this dream, and it's coming to life, or it has come to life, and now she's brought it from California here to Atlanta, and it's just doing very well. And she's like, you know, we're talking on the phone about the concert, and telling her my nerves, or telling her my insecurities about the show. And I mean, it was a really big show. I had a cast of 24 people, and that included dancers, a band, like everything. It was so much to manage by myself. And, you know, she just talking me through it and like helping. She's like, you know what, I got an idea. She was like, what if we created a black lip in your honor? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, send me, what do you use now? And I sent it to her. I sent her, you know, the package of whatever I had been using. And she was like, called me on the phone immediately when she got like, don't you ever use that again. Stop it right now. If it's on your lips, go wipe it off. And literally for 3 weeks, I had nothing on. I was like, oh.
No black lip.
No. I was so upset. But she was like, you know, I got a surprise. And so she sent me in the post, it was a sample of the black lip. And I tried it, and it tastes wonderful. It felt good. And I was like, this is amazing. And when she sent me the 4 ingredients that was in it, I nearly dropped. I was like, that's it. And it was perfect. And I was like, you know, I will never wear another thing. I was like, she says, I want to give you a gift. And what we did was did a promotion for the show. And the first 50 people that came to the show got a free lipstick. And that's great. It was launched back in 2016, and it just over this last year, it's been doing very, very well. And we're going through some new packaging upgrades, so I'm really excited about that. And you can expect to see some really cool things happening with it in the future. But for right now, it's still available on my site. It's literally the only thing I wear. I won't buy any other lipstick ever again. I love it. It has my face on it, and it's so cool.
That's dope. That's super dope.
FREiBERD.
It's just people would come. I remember, I think Snapchat did this crazy kind of filter, and so everyone was sending me this pictures of themselves with the black lipstick and filter. It's like, this is your FREiBERD filter. And I remember posting it on Facebook. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I just can't even imagine how this is going to be on a larger platform. But it's just, she's really sweet. Lake Louise is a beautiful spirit. And, you know, just the fact that we were able to create something so amazing, and like, just to think, being an individual and doing something so strange, like putting yourself in an awkward position to be more comfortable and to be more yourself, and what to be brings you to opportunity and people respecting you and saying, you know what, hey, look, you inspired me to do something. I'm like, that's what it's all about. And so it's just like, that makes me so happy to have a product like that available, and for people to love it when they purchase it. So literally I have people who still, every time they see me, they're like, you know what, I just have to order another one. And so it's just really, really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, if you're looking to purchase the FREiBERD Black Lip from Lake Louise, we'll have that link right there in the comments.
Yep. So it's Plain Jane Beauty Cosmetics, or you can find it at FREiBERD.com.
FREiBERD.com. Follow FREiBERD on IG at what? FREiBERD?
FREiBERD. FREiBERD.
In the comments.
In the comments for you, okay?
There you go.
Also, you have your new your new track dropping next week on Tuesday.
Yep.
That'll be following this episode, okay? So we're going to also provide a link where you can see that too.
That's so exciting, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. This is good timing. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for everything coming up. But yeah, this should be good. Thanks for joining us today. I know it was a little runaround, you know, but we got there. We did it. We here. We good, you know.
Exactly. She's actually smiling now, and she's in good spirits. You know?
She's in good spirits.
That's all it took.
As soon as we started, she got in good spirits. So this is like this. I'm gonna like straight up, you know, this is a really good interview. I love your energy. Your energy is amazing, and I'm not kidding. I'm coming to shop in your closet.
Well, make sure you let me know. Give me like kind of an idea of what you like, because that's what I do as well. Like, I love to curate for people. So a lot of times I would have clients that I don't necessarily call it styling for them, because I don't want to take on that responsibility with any one specific person. But what I would do is, if they gave me ideas of what they liked, I would go and specifically look for things that I have just a whole plethora of things that they can look through and just be excited about. You give me ideas that you like, and I'm sure that I can find it all here for you.
All right, awesome. Well, looking forward to that. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.